Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
All right, so we are back and we're going to do a quick chat about sleep because we do find that it does tend to creep up a lot with all of our clients, and especially, do you find with teenagers, sleep is a bit of an issue? I know mine teens went through it, the older ones.
Yeah, and I think that they go through this stage too where they're like melatonin and cortisol levels and all that kind of stuff like kind of goes off because then they're like awake, like can't sleep until like midnight.
Yeah.
And then this is what obviously I homeschool now, but this is my thing with like high schoolers having to be at school at 8:00 and focused. I'm like, that isn't even like a thing because they actually don't even, they can't even process stuff at that time, right? I mean,
there's studies on that show.
I know. And then they come home at 2:00 in the afternoon and they have so much time when no parents are home. So I'm thinking if you just let them sleep in the morning till 9, 10, then they get up, they're at school from 12 to like 5. I'm like, that's perfect. You know what I mean? But I don't think that sometimes we take into account those different sleep cycles at different stages in our lives, right? Because you'll see that with senior citizens too, like their sleep's all way different than I wish, because they need less sleep, it seems, right? Than we do. But we're in this mothering stage that's crazy and we need the most sleep possible ever, which is impossible because you're fighting against all of these obstacles to not sleep, right? So the different stages, I think, require different amounts of sleep, but then also how active you are. And being an athlete is also like a really big factor, I think, in how much sleep.
Well, if you look at like babies too, right? Like how much sleep they require because their primary goal is just to grow. It's the same thing when, kids are now going through puberty to become these adults, right? They're going through another growth stage and period, which is that high school period. And so I remember, especially my middle, he had, I don't know, it's probably over a year, super hard time. He just felt like he could not sleep at all night. And then, he would have to get up, go to school, try and pay attention and pass, right? Come home and then need to have a nap. Like he then would sleep because he's so exhausted because he's not sleeping at night. Like it was just a vicious cycle. And no matter what we tried, and he was active, like it's not like he was not doing anything to try and help promote his body to get tired so that it would sleep properly at night. Like I still don't know how I could have done him any more service, but
I'm trying to navigate the teen years right now because this is my first one that's a teenager, and knowing the level of what's normal exhaustion, what's also them, because she'll come and be like, I can't even function today. And kind of, I'm just like, what does that even mean? Because I functioned on 2 hours sleep before. So I'm trying to figure out like, are you actually feeling like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure out what's the actual emotions behind it. So what's exhausted mean to a kid that you can't function. So I'm trying to just like navigate this and see. And we were at the doctor saying, she did say, teenagers definitely need like a lot more sleep because their cognitive brain is growing and their body's growing, and girls are having menstrual cycles and things like that. So they need that like extra sleep. But then they get into that vicious cycle of staying up late, wanting to sleep in, and then their body's off.
Yeah.
Like
and the phones don't help. Right? If they're on their phones in their room at night, trying to fall asleep, watching TikTok videos or YouTube or whatever, TV, what doesn't matter what it is, right? So now you have all that blue light that's stimulating to the brain coming in. Meanwhile, you're knowing that you need to try and fall asleep. And so like
We went through a really bad stage with one of my daughters where she would like start freaking out because she was laying there and she knows she needed to sleep. And then the more she tried to sleep, the less she could sleep. And then she would get stressed out and it'd be 11 o'clock. And then she'd be like, oh my God, it's 11. And then her body would just be like, knowing that she needs to sleep, but she can't sleep and her brain's going.
Yeah.
So it was like, I feel like it was like that really tough time. And it's same, you and me are like, perimenopause, close to that time
where menopausal, don't you worry,
where you wake up and I'm like, oh, like I'm awake, what am I gonna do? And it's like 3 a.m. laying there,
a common time frame,
can't sleep, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Like I can't sleep, and up and down, and like I found that for me the biggest thing has helped is magnesium, which I went off for a while, and now I started trying like a sleepy time tea with valerian in it. No, that one actually makes me wake up, and then I'm like, I'll sleep for like, it's almost like a melatonin. I'll sleep for like 2 or 3 hours and then I'm awake and I can't sleep. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't have that one. So I think you have to find like what natural things can you use that can help you stay in that, like the whole night's sleep. Cause it's the waking up and then you're just laying there and you're like, oh my God, I have to wake up in 3 hours. And then you start thinking about all the things you have to do the next day. And you can't sleep.
Right? Yeah, I know. And I think, if we can teach our kids early on some good nighttime, bedtime habits and routines that will hopefully then carry through their teenage years and then as become adults and, older in life is, if you're having a hard time sleeping, well, is there something that can we get away from the screens a good hour beforehand? Like, can you read a book? Can you have a hot bath? Maybe with Epsom salts, maybe go for a super small, gentle, not a power walk, but maybe something just to kind of, for some people that's very meditative, is going outside and getting in a walk.
We've been doing that a lot. We go out and go for walks at night, and I feel like that helps, even like in the dark. So then you're outside. It's not, the lights aren't on. And it's dark. Right. So we've been doing that a lot.
Because we need sleep in order for our bodies to recover. And especially if if you're active, your kids are active, if, our bodies, they need that sleep, because if they're not sleeping and recovering and repairing, you're just setting yourself up for risk of injury as time goes on, which obviously we don't want. So
I'm going to get it wrong because my daughter sent me something this morning about sleep and how if you get like an extra 2 hours sleep, you're actually 30% or like 40% better like the next day. I can't even remember what it was, but it's almost like you give yourself extra life. Like if you're in a Nintendo game and you keep losing life, the more sleep that you get, it actually starts building up that life for you, right? So that you have like more power, I guess. And rather than if we take that away, then we get into like that cycle. And we're supposed to have high cortisol in the morning and it's supposed to lower at night. But when you're overtired, you then are releasing cortisol all day because your cortisol is to help you get up. Let's get up. Let's do something. And then your cortisol level has to stay high all day because it's like, well, I don't drink coffee. So my cortisol is probably like, yes, I got to get high to keep you awake until the nighttime. And then you have this high cortisol, which we know all the bad benefits of having super high cortisol all day long. Chronic. And then you're high cortisol at night and then you're not even sleeping. So, and then you just get into this like cycle and cycle and cycle. And the more tired you are. I can't say that I'm great. I am not great at sleep. And I feel like that has a lot to do with my children and my dogs right now.
Yeah. It's definitely like a stage of life. Like I know for me, like I have a certain time that I start getting ready.
You're so good
because I want to make sure that but I don't sleep well because I'm hot. I run hot. I can be cold all day, and then it's like as soon as the lights go off and head hits the pillow, it's like a thermostat just. So then I'm restless because I'm taking sheets on and off all night.
You take it off, then you get cold, right? Yeah. So this is what I'm starting to experience now. And I'm like, what is happening? Yeah. I'm so hot. And then you take it off. And then I'm like, I'm so cold. Yeah. I can't find the middle ground. Where's the middle ground?
There is no middle ground.
Does a sheet the middle ground? Like just a thin sheet?
There's no middle ground, I swear.
Because I'm can't figure it out.
Welcome to the fun. Yeah, welcome to the circus.
So when I was looking it up for sleep, like another big one, obviously, is like your mental state. So it was saying for athletes, like it helps you retain memories and stuff that you had from the day before. So if you're learning a new skill the day before and you don't sleep enough, your brain capacity isn't like retaining what was that skill that I did yesterday. If we're lifting in the gym and we're super tired, we're going to like pull something because we're not focused. We're not like
higher risk of injury.
Higher risk of injury,
Yeah.
depression, heart attacks, strokes. Because at nighttime, your heart gets to rest. Your heart gets to like repair. But if it's all night, it's go, 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 doesn't have that time, then heart attacks, strokes. And then our immune system too is a really big one, like for sleep. Building our immune system while we're sleeping.
We need everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
You have to shut down your whole body to repair everything, right? That's the whole point of sleep.
So I think if you're having a hard time with sleep, and I would say the first step, if you don't have like a nighttime routine, start figuring one out. Like for me, like I said, like I take about half an hour to lead up to when it's like lights out. You know, every time I brush my teeth, wash my face, I like to read a book for like 15, 20 minutes. Like that's just sort of how I kind of set myself up so that I can go to sleep hopefully well and stay asleep well before I'm like flipping the sheets on and off. And that again, that usually starts at about 2, 3 in the morning. Like it gets, and everybody that I've talked to, that seems to be a very consistent time frame.
And I just call each other.
I can't remember the reason why. There is something that is going on. I should double check that. But anyways, start with trying to figure out a better nighttime routine, see if that helps. And like you said, like if you're not doing magnesium, that could be something that you could start using. Any type of valerian root tea, I find actually works really well with me if it gets bad.
Melatonin too, but that one after 2 weeks, I'm having like nightmares, like horror, like really nightmares, like everybody's killing each other. And like my brother has it too. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, is it because when we get into REM sleep, our real personalities come out? And he's like, no, like I just have this weird, like, I start having these weird, because then I wake up. Like it gives me a good 3 to 4 hours. So sometimes I'll take a half when I wake up at that 2 o'clock mark, but then sometimes I wake up groggy because then my body's still like, oh, you still need to be sleeping. So it's like and
I think that's why I've never bothered to take it, just because it can be a little finicky. But I'm not too sure. Definitely like a dark room, dark room. Your room should be cooler. So if you can turn down the thermostat for like the hours that you're in bed, that helps as well.
I have a sound machine. So like a fan. Sound machine.
I've got a ceiling fan that runs 365. Never shuts off.
Okay. And does it make sound?
Like a light. Like a real light. So like if I'm like in a hotel and there's no fan, I definitely notice it's a lot quieter.
Oh my gosh, I can't sleep in hotels. I'm like, I have to bring my sound machine with me because it's so quiet. But
definitely figuring out a good nighttime routine, maybe trying some of the magnesium, melatonin if you want to go down that road, valerian root tea, and just sort of figuring out what is going to be best for you so that you can go to bed at a consistent time, ideally wake up at a consistent time every day. Like even on the weekends, I wake up probably within an hour on the weekends.
I can't, that's the thing. I feel like I can't sleep in. It's so frustrating. I found like if you're also having problems sleeping at night, get up earlier in the morning. It sucks for a while until your body gets used to it, but then you get tired earlier. I feel like, right? Then by like 9:30, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done. If I been getting up at 5:30 now, and then I'm tired by that time, right? So kind of like push, like if you can wake up earlier, it's going to suck for a little while, but maybe that will help at nighttime to like change your.
It's almost like you're changing your sleep cycle clock.
And your body's hormones are changing. So you have to like give it time to shift, or else it's like, I should still be sleeping now. It's not normal.
You could just be fighting a little bit of an uphill battle rather than just kind of leaning into what the body is asking you to do.
I think didn't they say when they were changing babies' naps to only do in 15-minute increments? So like only push their nap 15 minutes, push their nap 15 minutes. So maybe wake up 15 minutes earlier, then the next week wake up another 15 minutes earlier, and then you can push it. Because I think if you woke up 2 hours earlier, it would be like a little bit too much for your body to kind of slowly get used to it, I think.
I would agree. Yeah. So take a look at your sleep habits at night. See where you can maybe make some of these little changes or tweaks, because good sleep means good recovery. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.